Hello, 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 hello. How's it going, people? Welcome to stream. Welcome. And finally, it's been what it feels like long goddamn overdue, but the season finally is over. Painful, disappointing, too long, let's be real. And we won absolutely nothing once again. So it's been quite a rough ride this season, I'm not gonna lie, with basically painful transfer window in the beginning. Mediocre performances pretty much throughout the whole goddamn season, so at the end of the day there were some ups, but mostly there were downs. And at the end of the day, well, that's it. That's about it. We struggled heavily with even the best of teams we had, and yeah, Arteta is here, Andrea Berta is here now. Summer window basically is 6 days away. It opens up in 6 days. So it will be very, very interesting to see what develops from that. But today on today's stream, what we're gonna talk about? Something very simple, let's be real. Season. Painful season recap as much as we can within the next hour and 10 minutes. Some summer plans, because obviously we cannot escape that, because we cannot repeat last summer's disgrace given what other teams are doing around us, and some other bits and bobs here or there. So smash the like button if you haven't already. Smash the like button so the stream gets some more traction, so more more people get in here. They can give their opinions on this season. And of course, subscribe if you're new around here. Round to 600k would be nice. 601k gang is going strong. And of course, leave your thoughts down in the live chat. Big up TK. Hope you're doing well today after that painful performance once again. And all this stuff second again. Ole ole. Ole ole. The three-peat of world famous second place is for Arsenal. What a trophy. David Raya wins Golden Glove. What a trophy for Arsenal. You can bet your sweet ass Mikel Arteta won't shut up about it throughout the whole summer, given the situation that that's the only trophy he has won this season. Well, this besides, obviously, we beat Madrid trophy, we beat Man City trophy, and of course some other stuff like that. 100%. So that's gonna be fun. And of course, meanwhile, Gyökeres is scoring in a cup final. The last time I checked, it was about 50 something minute. It was 2-0. By the way, yeah, it was 2-0 Benfica. So what we can quickly do is actually check what's happening here. Portugal. Where is it? Portugal Cup. It was 1-0 Benfica. One goal got disallowed. It's 2-1 Benfica. Sporting now. Gyökeres has scored in the final, as TK is saying. He scored a penalty in 90 plus 10 minutes. A clutch penalty to send it to overtime. Then Harder scores in 99th minute. And it looks like, since it's already 117th minute, it could go again to Sporting Lisbon. So at the end of the day, Gyökeres could win a cup double in Portugal this season, which is quite interesting for him. Quite nice for him. Big up Pepper. Hope you're doing well today, my bro. Hope the performance didn't put you to sleep and didn't get you too much pissed off about what we saw on the pitch. Of course. But yeah, 2-1 win. Rough watch. Rough season. Basically, today's game embodied what Arsenal's season was. Boring, lethargic, same stuff, always the crosses, no imagination, slow, and well, basically, if you have trouble with sleeping, Arsenal definitely was your cure for insomnia. Let's just put it that way. Paint watches Arsenal dry, if that makes any sense. The starting 11 was full-on makeshift 11, I'm not gonna lie. But it was quite nice to see, for example, Vanjeri. It was very nice to see Vanjeri in the Odegaard role for starting the game for a change. And Vanjeri did good, I'm not gonna lie. Kieran Tierney scored on his last game as an Arsenal player, a striker's finish. Better finish than pretty much every single player of our attacking department can do, let's be real. How is that working for Arsenal that defenders can score better goals and have better finishing than our attackers? Is beyond me. I'm just gonna say it as it is, right? And of course, Martin Odegaard came on. He scored the winning goal, 2-1 Arsenal. And of course, our top Gunners already are glazing Martin Odegaard. Oh, he's back! Make sure to prepare for next season. He's back and all this stuff. I saw even on X or Twitter, however you call it, someone saying, "Oh, Odegaard shaved his bush off the face. Now he's back. The best Odegaard is back. He scored a long shot and everything." Ultimately, Odegaard found his level. It is Southampton. Because when was he against PSG, where he was in other games throughout the whole goddamn season, let's be real. But the season finished like this, basically. Liverpool obviously won the league, 84 points. Arsenal second, 74 points. Man City third, 71 points. And Chelsea with Newcastle snuck into Champions League spots. Chelsea somehow, despite everyone bantering Chelsea all over the place, by the way, 1 billion spent and all this stuff, Chelsea are in Champions League. And mind you, finished only 5 points behind Arsenal. Enough said, isn't it? Enough said in that regard. And Newcastle got into Champions League as well. Aston Villa got to 10 men. Emi Martinez got a red card and they got Europa League. It looks like Nottingham Forest as well got Europa somehow, if I'm not mistaken, since Newcastle won the Carabao Cup. So that is kind of good for them, let's be real. And Crystal Palace, of course, also got the Europa League somehow. Of course, Southampton goes down, Ipswich goes down, Leicester goes down. By the way, Tottenham got Champions League spot by finishing 17th. 38 points. Seriously, 38 points for Spurs. If this was genuinely 10-15 seasons ago, they would be relegated. Because the minimum amount of points at that time required more or less was about 40. Which means Spurs would finish, they would get relegated and would play in Champions League. How nuts is that, if you come to think of it? Serious talk, how nuts is that? I didn't even watch the game, I'll be real. Cannot blame you. I'm not gonna lie, cannot blame you. Nothing riding on the game. No reason to watch the game. I watched it. I'm not gonna lie. And I kind of want my 19 minutes of my life back. I'm gonna tell you that much. Dude said Paint watches Arsenal dry. That's great. But what else can you say about our game style? What else? We play one way and that's about it. Billion crosses, nobody reaches the target. Oh, Merino hit the bar with a header. Whoopity fucking do. Like, seriously, what else can you say? Our plan A, plan B, and plan C against PSG away in Champions League was Liam Delap long throw corners, long throw-ins from Thomas Partey. Like, what else can we say? Arsenal fans were watching the Newcastle game, hoping Newcastle missed UCL for the Isak sweepstakes. The less said than better, let's be real. Because Isak is not leaving Newcastle whether you like it or not. In my opinion, even if they didn't get Champions League, Isak would have stayed. That's how I see it. I'm not gonna lie. Because nobody's paying 150 M's for Alexander Isak these days. No one. I'm kid you not, nobody. 150 M's? Come on, man. The fans are desperate, yeah. Desperate for Mikel Arteta to... Fans are desperate for something else. Other way around. Fans are desperate to... on Mikel Arteta, most likely. Just crappy football, yeah. Genuinely crappy football, nothing more, nothing less. And the worst part is we finished second, and people consider this a good season, when Man City, in their worst season in the last decade or so, finished only 3 points behind us. Chelsea, who gets laughed at throughout the whole goddamn season, Cole Palmer is disappearing from everywhere this season, right? They finish only 5 points behind us. Only 5, by the way. It's not that much. Genuinely, one random game goes not our way, bang, Chelsea are 2 points behind us. That says more about us than it says about anyone else. Because Chelsea, they gonna figure things out sooner or later, let's be real. Man City is gonna be up there next season. Liverpool, based on their signings they're making already, are gonna be up there next season. Newcastle got Champions League, which means they're gonna get better. Like, serious talk. Arguably, next season, even with the best of signings, we won't be up there. There's a big possibility of that. With this manager, I don't trust this because there is pretty much a certain guarantee, to some extent, that next season we will see the same football. I don't see Mikel Arteta reverting back to football we played 2-3 years ago. Ultra-attacking football. Expansive, dynamic attacking football with some tweaks at the back so we just don't concede as much. I don't see it happening. I'm not gonna lie, I don't see it happening. Oh, but we had the best defense in the league. Who cares? Goals we scored is just the worst part. Look, how many goals we have scored? 69 goals. Lol. Okay, Man City have scored more. Newcastle only one behind us. By the way, Chelsea are not that far off. Brentford had 66 goals. Arsenal had 69. For Brentford, Mbuemo together with Wissa, those two guys alone have scored about 40 goals between them, if not more. Which means those two together have more than 50% of what Arsenal scored this season. Spurs scored 64 goals. Their defense is shit, I'm not gonna lie. But they scored pretty much the same amount of goals as us. Like, what else can you say here? Genuinely, what else can you say here? What else can you say here? But in other news, some positive news. Berta was in the stands, we saw that. Yeah, Spurs got a fucking trophy, that's the biggest thing. Spurs finished 17th. If the Premier League wasn't so, well, the promoted teams were not so shit, there's a big possibility they could have gotten relegated even. If they actually cared about football and the parachute payments didn't entitle them more than all this other crap. Spurs got a trophy, a European trophy, mind you, by the way. What did we do this season? Oh, finished second. So what? Spurs finished 17th, got a Europa trophy. They're gonna be in the Super Cup at the beginning of the season, and they still got the Champions League. Same thing we did. We finished second. Like, make it make sense. And we finished 12 points behind Liverpool, by the way. It's 1-3, 3-1. Trincao scored, man. I would love to have Trincao at Arsenal, by the way. Trincao at Arsenal would be fantastic. But yeah, Gyökeres is winning another trophy at Sporting, by the way, guys. Another trophy. What I was saying. Oh, we finished 10 points behind Liverpool. 4 games behind Liverpool. 4 games. 4 bloody games behind Liverpool we finished. The difference from us is 10 points, second and first. And 10 points is also a difference from Arsenal being second or 8th, by the way. 8th. That's the same difference. The same point gap. That's how nuts it is. That's how bad we were this season. By the way, as I talked about, AFTV are gonna say we don't need an attacking mid because Odegaard is gonna be back on form, dude. It's delusional ultimate level. Big up Nabongo, big up. Today's season 24-25 ends, but for the side of Arsenal ended in tears. Full season, nothing we show. Exactly. Our season pretty much ended in. You could argue our season ended in summer already when we signed Calafiori, the Zucchini from Italy, and Merino. Then we got added up with signing Sterling and Captain Norberto Neto for the goalkeeping position. Then it was, when was it? By Christmas, we were already 9 points behind Liverpool. We somehow managed to claw it to 5. And when in January we had a chance to push it, to get a striker, maybe someone else, to push the narrative and push the gap closer, we sat back and did nothing. We genuinely sat back and did nothing. And the season ended very quickly. What they pulled a comeback. I'm left the match in 81 minutes and they scored 3 goals. Yeah, it was Gyökeres scored a tying penalty in 90 plus 10 minutes. Gyökeres scored a penalty, it went into extra time. Harder scored in 99th and now Trincao just scored. Been saying the title push ended in the summer, since the summer, yeah. Top Gunners, 8 out of 10 window. Gyökeres, 8 out of 10 window. Calafiori, Merino, Norberto Neto, and of course Raheem Shillings. That was the 8 out of 10 window we got pushed upon by Top Gunners. If it really was 8 out of 10 window, we would have won something, let's be real. Liverpool at the moment are already potentially gonna have 8-9 out of 10 window. They're gonna sign Frimpong, Kerkez, and Wirtz, by the looks of things. They're offering Wirtz 320 grand a week, by the way. Now, if they manage to sell Darwin Nunez, manage to sell Luis Diaz, 100% they're gonna sign a winger or a forward, a proper striker. And there's even possibility that Liverpool might sign Gyökeres, by the way. There's also a big possibility of that. And if Liverpool sign Gyökeres, you might as well chalk off the league already for next season. Let's be real. The way Liverpool played, the way they missed chances, Darwin missed chances, and if there was Gyökeres, it would have been long overdone. But looking on the other hand, of course, Andrea Berta was in the stands. Josh Kroenke was in the stands as well, by the way, if you didn't catch that. He was sitting together with Mikel Arteta and Richard Garlick and all these guys. Did you notice that Andrea Berta didn't even sit next to Josh Kroenke, by the way? or Mikel Arteta, he was sitting 3 seats away from all of them, next to Tim Lewis, the two people who Kroenkes have hired themselves. Tim Lewis has been with Kroenke since 2009, by the way. It's been 16 years he's working for them. It's not a coincidence that all of a sudden, last year he joined Arsenal to oversee the finances and all this stuff. Because we've been wasting money. 750 million, by the way, left, right, and center. And it's insane. And you cannot tell me that Andrea Berta was watching this performance today, and let's be real also throughout the season since he joined, and say, yeah, this is a title-winning team, this is the best team we can build upon, and there's nothing to improve upon. Because that's how we've been moving in the transfer windows. Everything is ideal, everything is perfect, nothing needs to be improved upon. That's how Arsenal do the transfer business. Because you cannot tell me that Arsenal don't need improvements and they can afford just to sign Merino and Calafiori and players like that. No striker in 3.5 years since Aubameyang left. You want left winger since Mudryk, by the way. Remember that winter window when we wanted to pay 80+ million for Mykhailo Mudryk and we signed Trossard instead, which already shows that Mikel Arteta wanted to replace Martinelli already then. And that was when Martinelli scored double-digit goals, by the way, about 15-16 goals he scored that season. Like, you cannot tell me those things. Then Mikel Arteta spunks down the wind, literally, 210 million to replace Granit Xhaka. He signed Havertz for that position, Arteta's words himself. Then he signs Declan Rice and then Merino. And at the end of this season, we have played two of those players up at striker, because in 3.5 years, somehow with 750 million, we haven't signed a striker, by the way. This is the position we are in. And now that we need a striker desperately, market for proper strikers, like real proper strikers, is really thin. There are about 3 maybe you can get. And even then, if you want to get them, you will have to pay top price at the end of the day. And even if you want to buy a mediocre striker, currently, like Sesko even, you have to pay over the odds. Because striker market in general is one of the worst ones I've seen in a very long time. Because the striker era ended with the prime Lewandowski, with prime Benzema and players like that, Higuain in club level and everything. At the moment there are maybe 2-3 elite level strikers, and still one of them is Robert Lewandowski, by the way. The other one you could argue is Erling Haaland still, despite everything. And then you sit there, you could maybe try and push Lautaro Martinez in there, and that's about it. Then you have the other players, the rest of them. And like, it's insane. By the way, Sorloth, Norwegian striker. If you know, you know. 27 million pounds. He went from Sociedad to Atletico Madrid last summer. Today, in the last game of the season, he scored a hat-trick. Few weeks ago, he scored 4 goals in 25 minutes. Market opportunity. But we don't need a striker, right? I'm of the belief Josh needs Arteta to succeed because his success is attached to him getting ownership of the club from his dad. You think so? You think Mikel Arteta is basically the golden boy for Josh Kroenke to succeed? It's an interesting take, I'm not gonna lie. I never thought about it that way. But at the same time, why would that even be a thing for Josh Kroenke? He knows how he maybe doesn't know how football works, I'm not gonna lie. But he sees what other clubs are doing around the world. Your big clubs, your Chelsea's, United's, Real Madrid's, Barcelona's, PSG's, Juventus, all these teams. He sees what is happening there. You cannot tell me that he doesn't see that they get sack managers left, right, and center, and they still manage to maintain some sort of a level. Like, it's an interesting take, I'm not gonna lie. I think it's Josh that pushed for the hiring of Arteta in the first place, and they let it happen somehow. But to be honest, if you are a proper businessman, shouldn't you also have the balls to say, my experiment or my idea has failed? We have to cut the losses and basically get a new one in, start a new idea. In this instance, get a new manager. Because let's be real, if you are a businessman, you're gonna have your incredible deals, without shadow of a doubt. But you're also gonna have your stinkers that fail miserably. It just, like, life doesn't work only upwards. You have your ups, your downs, your ups, your downs, and basically at the end of the day you hope you just end on an up, not on a down. So that also could be the case. Like, At some point, he needs to look at this and say, well, this has failed. It's time to go. It's time to cut the ties and everything. Big up BBK Sports. If you haven't already, go subscribe to his channel. Covers NBA, football, covers everything. And yeah, if you haven't already as well, smash the like button. Subscribe if you're new. Road to 600 is going strong, and 1K of course as well. So it's a weird one. It's genuinely a weird one how this is working out. But Berta with the whole hierarchy was in the stands. I'm very interested as well what is going through Josh Kroenke's head and Andrea Berta's head, by the way, on top of that, looking at the situation that that our women's team with Renee Slegers in charge in 8 months has won Women's Champions League, and our men's team in 5 years has done, well, nothing. At the end of the day, they have done nothing. I wonder what is going through Josh's head in that regard as well. I'm kind of interested. If Team Stan hired better than Team Josh hired Arteta, and there's gonna be various clashes of views at some point. Well, there should be, because Berta definitely sounds like a Kroenke signing, right? Looking how he is dealing with Colorado Avalanche, Denver Nuggets, Colorado Rapids, and teams like that. Stan has like overlook over them. It looks that way because he's very ruthless with them, at least what it feels like. Especially sacking the manager and general manager for the Nuggets about 5-6 games before the playoffs for Nuggets began. So I could see this being actually true. The fact that actually Berta is a Stan Kroenke signing, and Josh actually hired Mikel Arteta. I can see that happening. They maybe had basically they split the tasks. Stan said, I will hire sporting director, you will hire that. You will hire the manager. Maybe they had something like that, maybe that type of deal in place, who knows. But hey, big up Kwame, big up, hope you're going well. The summer won't change a thing. I respect Berta, but Arteta will mess things up. Well done to our women's team. Yeah, I don't think Arteta will lead us to anything if the board has said they should terminate his contract. And that is the biggest thing. No matter who we sign, I just personally don't trust this manager at the end of the day. I don't trust Mikel Arteta to guide us over the line. Because you can listen to top gooners all you want at the end of the day saying, oh, Arteta finished 3 times second, Wenger did the same thing, next season he's gonna win the league. Oh, Mikel Arteta is the best thing since sliced bread. He picked us up from the depths of hell, pretty much, and stuff like that. It's not the case. If you look at the context of things, as top gooners like to say, we were only 6 or 7 points behind top 4 at the time when we hired Mikel Arteta and sacked Unai Emery. And at the same time, we were 6 points above relegation as well. It wasn't that deep. It wasn't that deep when it happened, let's be real. And as well today, by the way, when we were 2-1 up, it was 90th minute, you could clearly hear on TV that Arsenal fans were singing, we got Super Mikel Arteta. You could easily hear that. And pretty much at the end of the day, that is all what Kroenke's need to keep him in the place. If they had actually like proper ambition and if they actually wanted to succeed, Arteta would have been gone. He would be gone basically by June 1st. Let's just say it that way. By the time transfer window opens, we would see a statement from Arsenal that Mikel Arteta and Arsenal have parted ways. Because for me personally, and this is very weird when I'm gonna say this, but bear with me here. I want Arsenal to sign the best players. I want Arsenal to win. I want Arsenal to succeed and do everything and win everything, right? At the same time, I don't want this manager getting any single penny more than he already has in terms of signing players. This is very weird take, but that's where I am at the moment. Because I much rather sack the manager. Let's just say we have 200 million budget for the summer. We sack the manager, pay him off 30 million, we sign a new one. 10 million a year or something like that. Pay him 10 million. We are left with 160 million. And use those 160 million to sign the players this new manager wants, for example. And then you can sell some players and use that money to sign some more. Like, I think for Andrea Berta as well, working with a new manager who actually has different type of ideas, because you cannot tell me that Berta is watching this dross for the last 3-4 months and say, yep, this team can win stuff with this manager. There's no chance in hell. 3 times runners up in the Premier League, title race, it isn't progress at all. Exactly. And this is the worst season. We have finished behind the first place further than we have ever. We are the distance from us to Liverpool is the same distance from Arsenal in second place to Brighton, who finished 8th. Same distance. Like, it makes no sense. It could even be the case that Josh wagered the club on Arteta's success as his choice of manager. If Arteta wins, Josh gets full control of the club without Stan's oversight. Maybe Josh just wants to prove himself to his dad so that he can do things correctly and that Stan can actually trust him with a massive business venture. There could be that, 100%. There could also be that, because at the end of the day, I still get the feeling, and maybe you do as well, that ultimately everything is still in Stan's name. He signs the final checks, gives finals yays or nays at the end of the day. It's just Josh who is overseeing things and is giving some extra advice to Stan whether that would be a good deal or not. Now Berta has gone in on Stan's money and called to assess what's actually going on, because all the pundits are saying we are close, but there's not even domestic cup on this journey. Yeah, every single time we are close, but we are miles apart at the same time. Because last 8 semi-finals we have gone with Mikel Arteta, we have lost pretty much all of them, and we have scored only 2 goals in the last 8 semi-finals. One was against PSG, other one was in semi-finals in Europa League against Emery's Villarreal away. Like, and that is genuinely a 4-year difference. Like, that is not it. Genuinely not it. I'm waiting to see if the board sack Arteta and bring someone in Inzaghi next season. I'm more interested if they could do something like this. They're gonna wait, maybe. This is conspiracy theories, by the way, and what ifs, right? Inzaghi gets sacked by Inter Milan at the end of the season after Champions League, right? And maybe they're waiting to see if he would be available. Could that be the case, for example? Maybe they're waiting to see if an actual manager becomes available. Because I get it, there are some managers available at the moment on the market, like Allegri and managers like that. But maybe they want someone specific, like Inzaghi, for example, and stuff like that. Or Simeone, but then they have to buy out his contract. I could see Arteta getting 2 more seasons. He has Josh as a shield, or at least he has his ear. That's the thing, Arteta's contract runs out in 2 years. So there are 2 options. Either he stays for the next 2 years, or if he basically shits the bed, shoots himself in the foot, he's gone quicker. I'm more inclined to think that he actually might stay the 2 years. However, there obviously has to be an asterisk by that, saying that, let's just say we are in Christmas next season, we are 3rd or 4th, and we are about 15 points or 12 points behind the first place, whoever is up there. Then actually I can see, sorry, my nose is itchy as hell. Then actually I can see him getting sacked then. Big up Hendon. Big up, hope you're doing well. And if you haven't already, guys, please do me a favor and smash the like button. It takes a second to share the stream around. It helps the algorithm and everything. And of course, subscribe if you're new around here. Aiming for those 600 as soon as possible. And 1K, 1,000 subscribers before the new season kicks off. Before the 25-26 season kicks off. These pro Arteta fans are jokers because they have the audacity to blame only the players, but the manager should hold his hand up. Exactly. Mikel Arteta says, oh, I don't want to single out a player. Yet he does it. Does it with Raya, with Skelly, and players like that. Oh, I don't like to compare myself to other teams. That's what he said in the latest interview. Yet 1 week ago, he said, oh, but Liverpool got these amount of points. We in the last 2 seasons have gotten these amount of points. So technically we would have won 2 leagues and stuff like that. He's a hypocritical liar on a consistent basis. He generally thinks we have goldfish memories or something. After one day we forget what he has said. Josh was sitting next to Arteta in Southampton match. Yes, he was. Umberto was sitting away from them in the other end of the aisle. Yeah, I think he was sitting together with Tim Lewis. No, Richard Garlic. I think he was sitting together with Luis or Garlic. Berto was sitting together, and they were sitting on the other side. That was, yeah. Yeah, everyone's being up everyone. You absolutely love to see it. Josh wants to prove he can run KSC too. Arsenal will be his proof of concept if he's able to get the league with us. Or the UCL, he's gonna have to leg up on his old man and posture to take KSC. True, but being a businessman, you have to make some tough, rough decisions. Sometimes you need to make very heavy decisions. And maybe getting rid of Arteta and getting in the new manager would be the ultimate tough decision he has to make. Because on one level, also, that could be the case to show that you can admit that you have screwed up. You need someone else in to get the job done. That also comes with that, doesn't it? To some extent, if you want to be a successful businessman. Conte leaving Napoli after Serie A title. Yeah, I read that, by the way. That was one of the things I wanted to talk about. Here it is. There are coming news from Italy, from Di Marzio, right? That Antonio Conte and Napoli could part ways. Napoli's main target for replacement is Massimiliano Allegri. That's according to Di Marzio. Conte just won the Scudetto for Napoli. He got rid of Osimhen, Kvaratskhelia, and he still won the Scudetto with Lukaku up top, using McTominay as the best player in the world, what it felt like, and everything. And they are still thinking of parting the ways. Tipping Inzaghi to take over. Genuinely, if Inzaghi becomes available, let's just say Inter sack him, right? Because he didn't win the Italian league. If he falls short, for example, even also in Champions League, right? If he gets the sack, maybe, just maybe, Josh and everyone is waiting for that to happen to get Inzaghi, maybe. Then the question is why they didn't get Allegri. Or maybe Conte they might go for. Top Gunners obviously will scream, oh, Conte is a dinosaur, oh, he used to manage Spurs and crap like that. Who cares? Arteta can't stay for 2 more years. If he can't get Arsenal across the line next season, failure cannot be tolerated another season. We say this every single season, don't we? We say this, oh, next season is the last season. That's what at least Top Gunners say. This season is the last season, next season is the next season. And the worst part is, it never comes to tuition. At the end of the season, goalposts get moved, oh, give him another year. Still they say, oh, he needs his own signings. How many signings of his own does he still need, for fuck's sake? He has spent 750 million, he has this bum-ass bench. And he uses none of them at the end of the day. And he still needs his own signings. Yeah, exactly. How wonderful if Inzaghi became Arsenal manager this summer. Imagine, June 1st, a news across Sky Sports, BBC, Worldwide, New York Times, and all this crap, right? Mikel Arteta and Arsenal part ways, with Inzaghi being already linked up to be his replacement. Imagine. Let me tell you this, Arteta knows that if Gyökeres come to an Arsenal, Kai will not have playing time, and that's why Arteta loves Sesko, because he can be bench player. I get that, but last season when we wanted to sign Sesko in summer, Sesko rejected Arsenal mostly because Arteta already told him that Havertz is gonna be number 1 striker and Sesko is gonna be the number 2 guy. So what would be the point in him signing now if the same premises stands now 1 year later? It kind of makes no sense as well, especially if you have to pay him 80 million to sign him in the first place. Well, 70. And Naguna, this Saturday he's leading his Inter to the Champions League final against PSG, and Inter will win. That is the biggest thing. Despite the Champions League result, there are some rumors that Inzaghi might get sacked, mostly because he didn't win the Italian league. Despite that, imagine the scenes. Imagine if that would be the case. Wait, yeah, Sporting won the league, the cup. I just want to see this. Simeone Inzaghi. Rumors are coming out that he might get sacked. Yeah, he actually might, if it doesn't come to tuition. There could be that possibility. Big up ZFB, big up, hope you're doing well. We sack Arteta now and give the budget to proven winner. That would be the ideal scenario. Genuinely, that would be the ideal scenario. As I said before, it's very weird when I say this, but listen to me again. I will repeat myself. Let me know what you think of this. I want Arsenal to sign the best players in the world. There's no argument about that. I want Gyökeres, I want all the best players. At the same time, I don't want this club spending any more money as long as this manager is still at the job. It sounds hypocritical, it doesn't add up, but that's how I feel now, because he has spent 750 million. By the end of this window, that's gonna come just open soon, it would be 1 billion at the end of the window. More chances than not, let's be real. It would be around 900, 950, maybe even 1 billion. Like, that's just stupidity. Oh, but if you do the law of averages and everything, it just comes about something like 150 million, which is not much. Well, shove it. Because overall, you have had been 750 million. You have signed Kai Havertz for 65, Fabio Vieira for 35. That's 100 million alone, already spun down the wind. 35 or something like that on Zinchenko, 45 on Jesus. Although Jesus was a good signing in the first place, I actually like Jesus, it's just Arteta ruined him. Then you have 20 odd on Kivior. Then you have about 70 million just on goalkeepers, 70, 80 million alone. Money has been wasted left, right, and center, let's be real. Big up Hyper Protagonist, hope you're doing well today. Gyökeres is better than Sesko, Arteta doesn't want quality. He wants the excuse to give him more time from Top Gunners, that's what he wants. How much would it cost to get rid of Arteta now? 10 million, or is he... He is on 15 million a year. But I think that is gross, not net. I think. But still, you have to pay the taxes, let's be real. So at the moment, he has 2 years left. So that would be 30 million to get rid of him. He has 2 years left. His contract runs out in 2027. So that would be 30 million to get rid of him. But let's be real. We paid more than for that for Fabio Vieira, which is, let's be real. Big up G-Star, big up, hope you're doing well today. Conte is available, Arsenal should be on that. Yeah, they should. He just won the league in phase 1. Why not? Give him a chance. Play 3 at the back, which would work quite nice at Arsenal, I'm not gonna lie. If he's really on 50 million a year and it's not 50 million over 3 years, we are screwed. Arteta's best figure this thing out, and that's the reason. Look. Well, he's on 10 million GBP. I think 50 million could be a... where is it? Mikel Arteta signs an extension. Where is this? Highest paid football managers in 2025. Here it is. Mikel Arteta, third most paid, 15.6 million. Allegedly. Allegedly. That's a yearly wage before tax. Before tax. Here it is. So, being a football manager is a thankless task. It brings an incredible amount of pressure, often without too much reward. Unless a manager retires or resigns, they will be sacked from the job as soon as results become less than satisfactory. Unless you're Arsenal. But if you're good enough to manage on top level, they will be extremely well paid for the gig. An insane amount of money is flying around the beautiful game, with elite players and managers being paid mind-blowing sums. The finances have only continued to grow over the years, especially with Saudi Pro League clubs handing out huge contracts to lure likes of Laurent Blanc to their shores. Due to this, we have outlined the 20 highest paid managers in the world, stretching from the international game to the desperation to win the Champions League at certain clubs. The dynamic, this is shots at that Arsenal, by the way, on desperation to win Champions League. And it's likely these managers will be at the forefront. Just look at this. 15.6. Now look at these things. Moyes is on 12.5. Enrique earns less than 10 million at PSG. Ancelotti, 8 million at Real Madrid. Company gets 7.8. Amorim gets 6.7. Arne Slot gets 6.4. Thomas Tuchel gets 6 at England. Simeone Inzaghi is on 5.6 million. Like, this is actually kind of insane if you think about it. Gyökeres is so clinical and I can watch him. It's Arteta. Yeah, it must be Arteta because in 3.5 years it's actually kind of nuts that we haven't signed a striker. 3 times runners up the Premier League title. Do you call it improvement? No chance in hell. Inzaghi had finished second in Serie A at least 3 seasons. Did you know that? Dude, I know that. But what has Inzaghi won? Think about it. Simone Inzaghi. He has managed Lazio and he has managed Inter Milan. And look what he has won as a manager. He won Italian champion with Inter Milan. He has won Italian Super Cup with Inter twice in a row and with Lazio. He has won Italian Super Cup 3 years in a row, before that 2 times with Lazio. Coppa Italia Primavera with Lazio, small teams, and Italian Super Cup with the small teams. He has won a lot for the manager. He's been manager of the year, Italian champion, Italian Cup winner, Italian Super Cup winner. He's been an Champions League runner-up once in 22-23 season. We'll see how this season pans out. Like, seriously, what are we doing here? You want to compare Inzaghi, who has won pretty much it all besides Champions League, who can do it next Saturday, to Mikel Arteta, whose best achievement is getting us win the dog and pickpocketing his own players. Like, seriously, what are we doing here? Arteta has failed 3 good times in Premier League title race. He has balled as well 2 title races. Why get Inzaghi if he 3-peats the second? Don't you want better? I'm not even gonna rage bait because this is total and utter sheer blindness to what I'm saying. Oh my goodness. I'm alright with more money being spent. Arsenal fans are never brave enough with youngsters, so the manager isn't demanded to be brave with youngsters, so I would rather just have the money spent. True, but let's be real. If we actually gave our youngsters a chance, we wouldn't need to sign some of the players we have signed. Think about it that way, because some of our youngsters are actually better than the signings we have made as well, that we lost at home shambolically. I'm not denying Arteta has done good things at Arsenal. I'm not denying that. I'm giving even him credit for that. But ultimately, we are at the same place where we were 8 years ago under Wenger. We are finishing top 4 and we are winning nothing. At least under Wenger, we won some FA Cups on the way. Under Arteta, we win nada. Finishing 2nd, 3rd, 4th in the league means nothing unless you win it anyways. In the second leg, we didn't improve, did we? Well, we had long throws from the sidelines. We haven't seen that before, so you can call that an improvement if you want to be a goldfish. If Arteta was actually the type of manager that let Kabia, Edwards, Butler, Henry Francis touch grass, I would say he should get the money. Exactly. And if he would develop them. By the way, speaking of these 3 players you just named. Look at this. Oyedeji, Butler, Henry Francis and Jimmy Gower are all set to leave Arsenal with their contracts expire at the end of next month. Proper youth job, boys. We won a trophy with 3 at the back. Exactly, that's the biggest laughingstock part and everything. The only formation that has given us some sort of joy, excitement, trophies, and everything is 3 at the back. That's how we beat Chelsea, Man City along the way. That's how with Wenger's and Emery's squad, by the way, Mikel Arteta won us the FA Cup. Which, to some extent, let's be real, Aubameyang handed him on silver platter as well. What he did afterwards completely disrupted the team. And through the years, to this day, he pretty much quite heavily is relying on players that actually Unai Emery signed. Martinelli, Saka got promoted, Smith Rowe got promoted, Emery signed Saliba and players like that. Yep. You know, at some point I thought the 50 million thing was just hyperbolic meme. No, it's not. It is not. It actually is not. Obviously, I think the 15 million is before taxes. So after taxes, it could come down. It's 15.6, you take 45% off. It's about 8.7 to 9 million, I would assume. But still, he gets by default 15 million. Yeah, he's on 41k per day. Yeah, 41,000 per day. 41,000 per day. Holy crap. Big up Pepper. Big up Inzaghi is on 5. Yeah, 5.6 million Inzaghi is on. He needs to get strikers. This team is built very strong. Give him Gyökeres, Sesko, Rodrigo. Dude, give him strikers. He has had 3.5 years to sign a fucking striker. Instead, he decided to sign Havertz, Merino, Calafiori, Kivior, Zinchenko. Who else is there in all these? About 55 goalkeepers, which we are not gonna get into, by the way. And then there's Raheem Schillings, Marquinhos, and players like that. What are we doing here? Those players alone can fund him signing insane amount of strikers and the best striker in the world and left winger as well. Yeah, I can't see a spot where Arteta gets sacked unless the season is total disaster and we miss UCL. Basically, that is, to some extent, that's the sad part. Just one cup and that is it. We can triple Alonso. Alonso is already at Real Madrid. He already is officially announced, by the way. We take Champions League qualification for granted now. Dude! Tell me you have never seen Arsene Wenger at Arsenal without telling me you have never seen Arsene Wenger at Arsenal now. Basically. Because under Arsene Wenger, Champions League was a guarantee, top 4. Only thing that was the question mark was whether we're gonna win an FA Cup or Carabao Cup, or if we get lucky we will challenge for the league. That was about it. Under Arsene Wenger, top 4 was the bare minimum we got every single season. We take Champions League granted for now. Come on, man. Inzaghi won honors both Lazio and Inter. Exactly. Exactly. Arteta got lots of money to spend. He used to, and he still most likely will get. Conte plays with 3 at the back, so it would work exactly. And to some extent, actually, let's be real. Our team is built for 3 at the back as well, to some extent. Feldhau, what do you expect the Premier League and Champions League? Why do you expect Premier League and Champions League? Oh my god. I'm not gonna get into that. It doesn't deserve the money. I would rather have we have the players and the next manager has more raw material to work with. Yeah, can't end up with this squad on its knees because Arteta doesn't deserve more money. Exactly, and the biggest thing is, and this is my comparison how I see Mikel Arteta at Arsenal currently. This is the same thing as Roberto Martinez with Belgium. Remember Roberto Martinez, he's now Portuguese national team's manager, right? He used to manage Belgium. Golden generation. Vertonghen, Alderweireld, Vermaelen, Dembele, Witsel, Kevin De Bruyne Prime, Lukaku, Eden Hazard, players like that. He used to manage them, but he win F all with that Belgium team. Talent overflowing like no tomorrow. And to some extent is the same with Arsenal. We have a lot of talent, it's overflowing to some extent, and Mikel Arteta also doesn't achieve anything. It's the same level pretty much. After spending 800 million plus, Arteta had done some good things, but not enough to get the team across the line. Exactly. He does everything besides getting us across the line. Thinks about 55,000 excuses why we didn't get it over the line. And then he spins it in a way that we should feel sorry for the fact that, oh, we don't have a striker. Oh, we have injuries. But it's you got the money. You signed the players. It's not my fault you don't trust them. It's my fault you don't manage them. And it's not my fault you cannot coach the team properly. Because you have no plan B, plan C, plan D, any game. You have one plan. If it doesn't work, you're basically screwed every single time. But yeah, Wenger 3 Premier League titles and 7 FA Cups. Yeah, at least something. He complained about no striker and Butler Adeji was on the bench all season. Yeah, he didn't even give it a chance. He didn't even give Butler Adeji a chance, and now he's leaving for free at the end of the season. Only really interested in Henri Francis. Of those three, he might do something with his career. That's the thing, they all are leaving for free. But I think they won't be the only ones. There will be a longer list because last summer we let about 20 players go from our youth team. 20, you know? And it could get more. Facts, Kwame, I'm on a tiny budget. You don't sack Arteta now. It would be just stupid. Invest in strikers and have a deep squad for the proper backups. You can see Arteta is brilliant. And this team is brilliant too. What season have you been watching? Did you just watch 22-23 season just randomly as a DVR recording every single time Arsenal played just so you don't have to watch the draws we watched the whole season? Like, what are we doing here? Where is he brilliant? I'm not denying that he is actually a good coach, but as a manager, he is not it whatsoever. Give him strikers. Invest in strikers, give him the player he needs. We've been doing that for 5.5 fucking years, seriously. How much money do you want to spend on Mikel Arteta until you realize he's not gonna do it? You are right, Butler Adeji was there, but yeah, exactly. He played everyone there. He played number 8 and a number 6 at striker instead of actually a natural striker. That's what Mikel Arteta did. Butler Adeji got on pitch once and almost scored. Yeah, that's the biggest thing. He got on the pitch once, nearly scored, and that's about it. He hasn't seen pitch ever since. Which strikers are available then? Would you think everyone's available? If you are willing to pay the money, everyone's available at the end of the day. But do I trust this manager? No, I don't. I have never seen this manager coach a striker, by the way, as well. He had the Golden Boot winning Aubameyang. He made him play left wing back half the time. Since then, he has signed Havertz, who he said himself is a midfielder but now plays at striker. He signed Merino, who is a number 6, number 8, but he played as a striker. He signed Jesus, who actually I really liked. I really like still, but he got injured in Brazil. He had a surgery, rushed him back, Arteta. In the end of the first season, we were 8 points clear. Then he meshed up the same knee again, needed another surgery. He came back, then he needed a surgery on the other knee now, and let's be real, he's done. Then Butler Adeji sees this. Not Butler Adeji. Chido Obi Martin, he fucks off to Man United. We had Florin Balogun on loan. He was 3rd, 4th best goal scorer in Ligue 1. We sell him to give Eddie Nketiah 100 grand a week and keep that bum in the team. Then we have Mika Biereth out on loan. Then who never got a chance at our main team, we sell him to Sturm Graz. Then in January this year, he moves to Monaco. And in Monaco, in 4 months, he scores 13 goals, gives 4 assists. Like seriously, we have had strikers in this team. It's just that this manager don't want to recognize that and don't want to use them. You take Champions League for granted now. You don't even understand why that is. What do you mean I take it for granted now? Are you... What? Seriously. I've seen Arsene Wenger win Premier League. I've seen him play in Champions League final against Barcelona when Lehmann gets a red card and Henry misses one-on-one and Almunia is in goal doing some weird funny business. I've been to Champions League final. We lost it. 3 years later, I've seen us lose to Man United in Champions League semi-final. Under Wenger, Champions League was bare minimum he achieved season in, season out pretty much. Only in his latter years he didn't get to Champions Leagues on a consistent basis. And still, in his twilight years, he managed to win some FA Cups. Arteta never used Adeji because he's useless, never tries. Exactly, he's afraid to take risks. Arteta is afraid to take risks. And now it's the... And as I talk about the risks, this is the prime time to show you this thing. This thing. Where was it? Where is my Nagelsmann thing? Here is my Nagelsmann thing. This is what Nagelsmann said. Be an example as the manager for your players. Commit brave risks with squad selection and starting 11. Commit brave risks with tactical approach. Which Arteta does none of those. I want my players to be brave and confident. And you can see that we are not brave and confident on the pitch. Because all that has been coached out of our team. Let's be real. Because we are afraid to give any risky thread the ball needle passes. We are afraid to do anything that would upset Mikel Arteta. Hence why half the time we pause backwards, not forwards, when there is a gap between 3 defenders to send someone in one-on-one. If I'm just dumb, why are you still here, first of all? Second of all, there's a top right corner, there's a red X. Click it and fuck off. Oh my god, I'm missing lots of chats. Big up to you guys, big up to you. You guys don't know what you're talking about. Honestly, if you think this level of Arsenal is failure, then you guys haven't kicked a ball in your lives. Oh bloody hell. Oh bloody hell, FIFA Merchant came on. Go on. Try it. The first time I need mods in this chat, which is kinda nuts. Never thought I needed them. Never thought I needed them. Never thought it would come to a point where I need where I need mods in this chat. Seriously. Never ever thought it would come to a point where I need mods in this chat. Just kinda nuts, I'm not gonna lie. Oh my god, I need to scroll back through these tweets. Oh my goodness gracious. Tweets, sorry. Mutants are always rude and abusive and don't engage with them. I don't want to, but it's getting on my nerves. My point is that Arteta is not good enough as he failed to win. Yeah, he hasn't. It's been lots of years past. Very lots of years. 5 years, 6 years, no trophies, unacceptable at any club who calls themselves a big club. Exactly. The Arsenal, 3rd biggest team in England. And in the last 5.5 years, we have nada to show for it. Yet still teams around us can win stuff. Every single team besides Arsenal. How does that make any sense? Yep, it is what it is. It is what it is. We expect trophies with Wenger even when he was past it. Exactly. And he still delivered, by the way. Wenger still delivered, despite that. Oh, thank you. If you think I look so young that I am currently 19, I bless you that you think I am 19. That even doesn't count because 19, that would have been born on that year. But thank you for thinking I am so young. Massive compliment for you. Big up to you. Yeah, big up Hendon. I genuinely never thought I would need a moderator in the chat. I never thought I would get to that point. But somehow I've gotten it today. Big up to you. Well, I don't know what it's referring to, but I think I said, I guess I said something good. Big up to you. Big up, Kwame. The mutants are coming for you, Robo. It means you're doing something right. It looks that way. It looks that way. That's not very ours. It's soon they will show up at my home and everything. I need to be afraid, I guess. They sent the first wave, dude. I don't need even. I don't know. I don't need more waves anymore. Please help us. You are disappointed with the season, but understand the fight amongst the boys. What? A better manager would probably do better with this team. 100%. I also believe that a different manager already last year would have won the league. And I think better manager would not have signed Havertz in the first place. That is also the case. Hangurans that didn't good enough. Exactly. That is a compliment. If I didn't see them, that means I'm bare minimum 19 years old. And I would love to be 19 once again. I'm not gonna lie. I would love to be 19. I wish we had young fans who had not seen us lose in the Champions League final. I wish I didn't. I wish I didn't have to see us lose in Champions League final. Yeah, I might not have to. That would be nice. Instead, they're following the clubs that win things. Exactly. Most of them basically drift towards City, Liverpool, Barcelona, Real Madrid, and things like that. Let Arsenal work over the summer and look to improve the team. So you want to tell me that until this point they have not been doing that? Forget the noise and no trophies talk. This is a sold. This team is sold. To who? You are buying the team, and we'll win with Arteta. This team is sold. Who is buying the team? Wish I was too young in 2006. Oh, same. I saw, dude, it still hurts. That's the sad part. 19 years ago, and it still hurts. That Henry 1-on-1 and Almunia in goal and Lehmann red card and everything. It hurts, you know. And Arteta has proved over the last 5 years that his 800 million is not enough. And because Arteta can't figure out rotation and faith in youngsters, he keeps failing, yeah. It's been the same story. It's the same story every single year. And he needs his own players. He needs the striker and everything. Mikel Arteta in 22-23 season, when we were playing attacking football, said we don't need a striker. We shared the goals around. Last season, when we lost to Bayern Munich in Champions League quarterfinals, he said, oh, but what we can do, we don't have a striker. Well, whose fault is it then? And then he says this and still doesn't sign a striker the next summer. And now we are paying the ultimate price for it at the end of the day. But yeah, in some other news. Well, David Raya wins the Golden Glove. Good for him. Mikel Arteta is breaking records, by the way. Listen to this. From Opta Data, which is nuts. Arsenal have finished the league campaign without any player scoring 10 or more goals. That's the first time this has happened since 1923-1924 season. It's been 102 years since this has happened. This is a century in the making. What a record for Mikel Arteta. A century in the making, you know. Century in the making for this. This is actually kind of nuts. Arteta isn't getting better. He's not learning lessons. Exactly. Same mistakes year in, year out. And the same ones. That's the sad part. You can be Arteta. No one scored more than 10. That is not the war record. I'm telling you. A century in the making. Another trophy for Arteta. Big up the Matchday Guru, by the way. If you haven't, go subscribe to this guy as well, guys. But yeah, what a record for Mikel Arteta. Another trophy he can hang in the cabinet and put a poster on the wall, basically. A century in the making. Holy crap, if you think about it. David Ornstein spoke before the game. You know that's never good, is it? Basically what he said, Arsenal have a decision to make between Sesko and Gyökeres. Well, we all knew that. I do expect one of them quite possibly to come in. You see, I do expect and possibly. Again, if you don't read these, you don't pay attention, but there's always these words. Possibly, I expect, could, would, should, and all these words, just to have the possible deniability. I said that it's possible when it doesn't happen. Basically, so they have a cop way out. There are loads more to do at Arsenal as well. They'll try to renew contract on Thomas Partey, which is nice, I'm not gonna lie. No outcome on that yet. Maybe defender too, because they missed out on Dean Housen. A second choice goalkeeper as well. So no winger, no midfielder, but we're gonna sign another center back, another goalkeeper, maybe Thomas Partey, and maybe Sesko or Gyökeres. So where are the wingers we get talked about all the time and we get pushed upon this agenda? Where is it? Apparently Tierney told Arteta that he would score. Well, he did score. He had a better finish than most of our strikers have had this whole season, not gonna lie. I wish Tierney had slapped this con man. Dude. I've been patient since 2004. I was in my 30s back then. Now I'm approaching being 60 years old. How much more patient shall I be? Dude, imagine 30 years back. Oh my god. It's 21 years since we won the league. It's actually insane. When you think about it, it's actually insane. I was in school when we won the league. That's how nuts it is. By that time, I finished school, finished uni, have found a job, family, own place where to live, my own, not renting and everything. It's insane what you have done in that time when you put it into the perspective. Ornstein loves making it feels that way. KT should have given him a Glasgow kiss. Dude, that's like Drew McIntyre settings. You should call Drew McIntyre for that, shouldn't you? KT was our best left back in our club, and look how Arteta treated him. 100%. He was our best left back. And he treated him like he's nothing. Kieran Tierney won him the FA Cup together with Aubameyang. The Kieran Tierney over the top lob balls to Aubameyang to run in behind against City and Chelsea. That's how we won it pretty much. Clickbait season is beginning, yeah. Transfer window opens in 6 days, be prepared. Hennegun, I totally agree with you. How long should you wait for honours? Especially if we call ourselves one of the biggest clubs in England, which based on trophies, which its huge part are actually the FA Cups, by the way. We are the third biggest club in the country. Despite the fact that we have no European pedigree, by the way. You could say in Champions League specifically, right? And for a club like Arsenal, the expectations always should be trophies. Somehow we have been lost somewhere in translation that the big part of fan base think that finishing top 4, finishing second, being patient for a decade, with more than half a decade now, or for trophies is acceptable. Engagement farming season has begun, yeah. Payday will be nuts from X when X pays out. In other news, whoop, misclick. Apparently Bayern Munich are looking at Eze and what's its face. Eze and Olise might be reunited at Bayern Munich, potentially. Especially since it looks like Liverpool are gonna get Florian Wirtz. Bayern Munich have switched their attention to Eze. Top 4 is now a trophy. One of the things Arsene Wenger should have never said. This is one thing Arsene Wenger said I really hate. Because now it's been adapted to the Arsenal culture to the maximum extent. Top 4 is like a trophy. Eze is already gone then. Unfortunately could be the case. Arsenal are now Fogg's big club. The bulk of the trophies won it in the early 20th century. Yeah. Big, major trophies, yeah. Early 21st century, to be honest. The cup doubles and everything, that's kind of nice, but not gonna lie, late 20th, early 21st century. After that, some odd FA Cups here or there. Wenger went through a 9-year trophy drought. Late 2000s and early 2010s. And now we are halfway through it already, more than halfway through it with Mikel Arteta. It's working well, guys. Trust the process and phase 9654. Fox Club, captained by Foxgard. Yeah, Fox, yeah. It all has come full circle. Unfortunately, history has a tendency to repeat itself, unfortunately. And it looks like it's happening. And that's what is very, very painful, to say the least. Unfortunately. But yeah, on that note, I think today I'm gonna end today's stream because it is 11 and I need to have a shower, need to relax before tomorrow it is Monday, work and everything. Hey, haha. And I will come back, of course, in the evening tomorrow, 8 p.m. UK time. Spurs fans will reopen the website. They had circa, it's called Time Since Arsenal Last Won a Trophy. Since Arteta took over, the other so-called Big Six have been in more finals and won more trophies. Even Spurs have been in more finals. That's the sad part. Spurs have been to more finals and how won a European trophy. That's what's nuts it is. Every single Big Six club has won something as well in this time. That's how nuts it is if you think about it. Spurs won a trophy, City wins endless trophies, Liverpool wins endless trophies, Arsenal don't win trophies, sorry. Chelsea even have won trophies, Champions Leagues and everything whilst Arteta has been here. That's the most annoying part. But it is what it is. Big up, Hendon. Big up. It's bank holiday here in England, so no work. A nice long weekend. Oh man, you are in the dreamland, I'm not gonna lie. Big up to you. Big up to you. You must be in dreamland 100,055 billion%. But for me, it's work, unfortunately. But it is what it is. I'm not gonna lie. I don't hate my work like many people do. I actually like my job, so gonna go to it tomorrow, gonna work. I have Friday off, which is nice. I'm not gonna lie. For me, Friday is off, so I'm kind of in that regard. I'm very nice. No work. I hate you guys. Not gonna lie. I hate you. You have Monday off. That pisses me off. Big up, Kwame. But yeah, take care, guys. Have a nice evening. Have a nice day tomorrow. Relax if you are from UK and you have bank holiday. Don't forget to like the stream. Subscribe if you're new around here. Check out the YouTube short I uploaded today. If you haven't already, leave a like, leave a comment, and all that stuff. And I'm gonna see you very, very, very soon tomorrow at 8 p.m. UK as always.